Hello, happy Wednesday, everyone. This is Greg Dixon here from Shared Visions Unlimited Publishing. And this is the third in a series talking about build your publishing sales machine. And so we've been talking about uh, the whole thing related to why publish a book, why publish a membership, digital experience edition, and how to do the marketing. Today, I'm going to take a look at the book journey, really just the part of it where your manuscript ends up being formatted, submitted to Amazon, Kindle Direct Publishing, and Ingram Spark for creation of a print book. And once you've gone through that process, the book is available for order and shipping uh, out of almost any book seller, stores, chains, uh, and you can order yourself and send to your friends, give it away, sell it yourself, all those kinds of things. So I'm going to go through the process here, and I'm just going to preface this is something you can do, but it's the one things that most of our clients don't want to do themselves. So Betty Withrow and I, often a part of where I come in as I format the book. We go through the final review stages, and then we upload it to Amazon and Ingram Spark. So I'm just gonna run through what I'm going to cover today. And here, okay, the first part I'm going to talk about formatting with Atticus. This is software as a service uh, designed for writing and formatting both print books and EPUB versions, which are used for Kindle ebook versions, also Amazon books, and the like. So you can publish with other tools, but Atticus is my tool of choice, and I can explain a bit more later. So here, and then checking the paging. This is probably the most consuming part of this is making sure you've got the paging correct. You don't have what they call widows or orphans. You have a line that just sort of the last word of the chapter is sitting there on a page on its own. Sometimes it's easy to fix, sometimes it takes a bit of tinkering. And so that's probably the most consuming part of the sort of the review copy, the proof copy, and last bit tinkering is getting the paging right. And then the next thing is exporting PDFs for review and final editing. The Atticus has some tools inside to do it, but it really nothing beats taking a look at the real PDF in Acrobat Reader to make sure you've got it right. And then preparing the book cover, that's a part of it. That's quite a lot, fairly demanding, and again that is almost worth a whole topic on its own, but I'll discuss that in a little bit of detail. And then here, the process is submitting to Amazon and Ingram Spark, and then finally promotion and sales. So let's go back and let's start at the beginning here. Okay. So Atticus is a tool that's designed for writing. I mentioned yesterday in the broadcast yesterday that I will sometimes, if I'm writing a book myself, it's a good enough editing tool that you can just write it directly in Atticus, and then you don't have to worry about it formatting. So I'll depending on what I'm doing, I'll start in Atticus, and then I'll take that and use it for creating an online course or something else. But again, there's many more ways of doing this. If you're very careful and you follow the guidelines, you can do it in Microsoft Word, Apple Pages, and if you're a Zen master of Adobe InDesign, you can create anything. Really, that is the most powerful tool for creating any kind of book, really, but it's really not for the faint of heart. You really need to be determined. And if you're creating, let's say, children's books or highly graphical books, you probably have somebody on staff, or you've learned how to do it yourself. That's really good with Adobe InDesign. But most of the books that we're dealing with are really simple. They're novels, or they're simple books with a few illustrations maybe, and pretty straightforward. and Atticus is perfect for that. We can deal with those. Atticus can deal with the 2-page layout full bleed design, but basically you have to just you have to create a graphic for every single page. It's possible, but it's difficult. We're talking about right now, you've got a handbook, a novel, a collection of stories, any of those kinds of things. Pretty easy to do in Atticus, and recommend it. And also, it's something that we do. So Betty and I take the process from wherever you're at. I'll show you some of the books in that I've done in Atticus, and many of them have come to us with authors either 90% or almost 100% done with their manuscripts. And it's really just a matter of formatting, getting the cover to work, and submitting. So, okay, so as I mentioned before, okay, I'm going to just show you what I'm talking about here. Let's see here. I'm going to share the screen, and there we go. So maybe I'm going to take off the banner, and I'll use this view. Okay. So here's my Atticus account logged on, and the very first page shows you the books that are in there. And trend trading for financial freedom is something that I wrote and published a little while ago. We have a client, Dean Russell. We two things. One is a clutter clearing book, and also this is kind of a fun story about killing ghosts with a guitar. It's a bit of an adventure. Then we have Paul Levine, who's our ongoing book client. We've published one of his books. We're going to have a few more coming up, and then here we have Michael here, and we've published. First of all, this is one of Betty's book development clients, and we published On the Journey to Success, the English version. Michael is a very good client in the sense that his book really didn't need a whole lot of editing and tinkering. And then he turned around and created a Spanish version himself and submitted that. And that was easy, really, because we had the cover, we had the text, just had to replace it with the Spanish. And that was something could format and submit in a couple of hours. On the other hand, the formatting process, if you go to many other book consultants, you could get quotes anywhere from hundreds of dollars to thousands of dollars, and sometimes they'll maybe even that book formatting and submission could be thousands of dollars. And with a certain kind of book and a certain kind of client, that's $2,000 is totally justified. So we're doing things, we can afford to do things for a lot less for the simpler books, and for clients where the manuscript is pretty much ready to go and we can just submit. So I'm just going to go pop up, but let's see. I'll open up my trend trading book here, and we'll just take a look here, because we do have what's the next thing here. Okay, we were talking about checking the paging. So I'm just going to show you, this is what Atticus looks like, and that's the editing, writing and editing part of it. But under the formatting here, so one of the beauties of Atticus is that there's a whole pile. There's about 18 different themes with different fonts, different styles, different approaches, and then you can customize any of them for your own purpose. So here, and it shows you this is mock it up what it looks like in the digital version. That's on an iPad, and then that's on an iPhone, Galaxy tab. So you can get a preview of what the EPUB version will look like. And then here's the print version. And here's where the paging comes in, is right now I can go through the individual pages, but it's really a thumbnail. It's a little bit hard to tell. And so what you're looking for is a stranded line right here. Like if it all of a sudden it had the graphic on one page and then this use coupon code on the other, then you got to go to make some adjustments to it. And often, sometimes it's you force bit more enough of it onto the next line, or you do some other things, conspire to break up a paragraph just to get rid of that problem. So okay, so what's next on our okay. So assuming you've got everything tickety boo, and you are ready to do a final proof. So I'm going to just sort of say that when you're tinkering here within the editor here, is you can get a pretty good sense. You can go to the next chapter. Whoop, there we go. The overview, and then again you can check the paging. There's another way. If I double click on this, it'll show the. Let's see if I share this tab instead. This takes the one chapter essentially, and it puts it into Acrobat, the viewer here, and that will give you a pretty good sense of that. But it ultimately, what you really want to do is, and this is the time consuming thing. So what we'll do is we'll export it. I don't know if you can see here. There's export the PDF, and then okay, I'm gonna do it right now, and I'm going to download it, and showing it downloaded the 7th version. You probably can't see that. And close this window, and I'm going to open the book in Acrobat Reader here, and then I'll change pages in a second. So right here, just bear with me a bit here. I'm going to open, and you can't see what I'm doing, but that's okay. We'll get there. There we go. Okay, I've got the book opened, and okay. I just realized that this is going to be a little bit problematic to share that tab. Okay, but I'll do it anyway. Just hang on here, and just going to make sure that it's going to give me that option here. Share window. There we go. Acrobat. Okay, here we have it. So in Acrobat here, maybe I might be able to just do window view page display, 2-page view. Let's see how that looks. Yeah, okay. So again, what the exercise here is to scroll through it. You check the table of contents, see how that looks, see if all the page numbering looks correct, the prologue. I just got to mention what Atticus has separate sections for prologue, various CAN things, copyright pages, all that kind of stuff. And here's the formatting. So what I'll do, and I'll encourage the client, and often they don't they don't take this seriously enough. They don't read it closely enough. But if you have people reading through it carefully, making sure this is like the almost last chance for editing and finding out, we don't want to be rewriting the stuff, but it's a time where you're looking for things, maybe there's some typos, maybe there's some wording things, and go through. um I the process is one, in a way, editing is never done. Like every time you export and review a manuscript, there's probably always something you want to change. And so, but at some point you just say, well, okay, it's pretty clean, we've got all the typos, we've got the obvious errors out of there, and you kind of live with it. So yeah, that's the process. So I'm going to just stop the sharing. There we go. So yeah, the next process, so they've gone through there, and we're sometimes, we can get lucky. I send it to a client, they run through it, and then they say they don't see anything. And we hope they didn't see anything because they actually went through it and checked it. That's not always the case. We've had people, turned out they didn't actually read it, and they wanted to change things really after it's been submitted, and we can do that. It's possible, but it's better to get it done before you submit it to Ingram Spark, and Amazon Digital Publishing. And let's see here, Amazon Direct Publishing. This is actually the true thing. Okay, I'm trying to get the over here, and then what are we doing? Preparing the book cover. Okay. This is also a bit of an art. So the trick with a book cover for a print book is you don't really know the exact dimensions until you have the page count. So you do know what, let's say you're doing a trim size of 6 by 9, which is a pretty common trim size. You can figure it out at 300 or 600 dots per inch, how many pixels wide it needs to be. You can have a front cover and a back cover, and you need to honor the gray areas. There's places where you don't want to have text and images going right to the edge because they may get clipped. But the main thing that you don't know until you have the page count is the spine width. So how wide the spine is. So Amazon does a really good job of this. Is that you say you're going to print something 6 by 9, and it's 195 pages, and you enter that in, and it'll crank out a specification sheet and also a template. And the best way of using the template really is it'll give you a PNG file, and you can use Illustrator, or I use Photoshop, and basically I use that as the base, and then I overlay all of the book cover elements over top of the template, and that way you're pretty much guaranteed that it's going to fit. And so you get the cover just right. So this is one area of issue, is sometimes clients come to us and they've had hired somebody to create the cover. And if you're going to do that, some of the covers are absolutely gorgeous and beautiful, and but you need to have a cover designer who's going to work with you and make the final refinements to make it fit according to your spine size when you're done. I if I get all of the original files, I can fix it, and if there's some minor issues, I can do some pushing and shoving to make it work. And often I end up just simply creating the book cover myself. And I've ended up creating quite a few book covers over the years, and quite a few CD covers. It's kind of weird. I've never actually said that's what I do, but I end up doing it because somebody's got to do it. It's got to be done. And anyway, so that's the thing. But what the process is. Okay, so once you got your book cover, so I'm just going to go through what you do on Amazon. is you go through the process, you describe your book, the title, the contributors, description, everything. There's a series of forms. You fill in all the information. You also pick the categories where you want the book to be in, and keywords, and then you upload the manuscript, and it wants a PDF version of it. And our experience is if we've got Atticus to to format for the right uh, trim size, say 6 by 9, we almost never have any issues with it. Amazon just accepts the file, and then again, the next step is uploading the cover and upload the cover. And Amazon has some checks. They'll go check to see if what they're looking for is that it fits, that it's actually the right size. And then they'll also check to make sure that the text and images are not too close to the edges. And the other consideration is there's always going to be a book number, ISBN, which is basically, just a code so people can scan it and sell it in a bookstore or identify it. And that's going to be on the back cover, bottom right. And so in your cover design, you need to allow space for that. When you're uploading to Amazon, Amazon will put that there. You don't have to worry about designing that at all. Amazon will just assign you a book number and put it there. And if you're uploading to Ingram Spark, you will need to, I think you can get a book number through them, but mostly you need your own book number. But again, the Ingram Spark will look after putting that book number in the back cover on the lower right hand corner of the back cover. So, but you do have to, when you're doing your cover, you just have to realize you have to leave that space open. Okay, so what's next? Okay, so generally with Amazon, it goes into a review process, and they do a sort of a machine driven review. But I think at some point a human being looks at it, looks over the formatting, looks over the book, um, and deems that it's ready to go, and they'll just say, congratulations, your book is available on Amazon. So at that point, your print book is available. We always Atticus also exports an EPUB version of the book. And so at the same time, we will upload a Kindle version. Just going back to the cover thing, the dimensions of the Kindle cover are slightly different aspect than the print cover. So that usually means a slightly different file with slightly different versions, so that you may need to shrink the text or move it around a little bit in order to work as the Kindle cover. But our experience is once you've got that, it'll also work on Ingram Spark and Apple Books and anywhere else you want to put it. So anyway, that's it for submitting. For submitting to Amazon and Ingram Spark. And so after it's passed review, it's technically available for sale. So here's there are all sorts of things to do. Betty and I often say the time to start marketing your book is really once you basically have a sound title, working title for your book. You can start putting out notices on social media. You can start building people onto your mailing list that you're going to be launching the book, and then you can make a big deal about it and get people to support your book launch, which is you just let everybody know. There's a trick that people do to try to get to be an Amazon bestseller, and that's basically the idea is you get everybody to come on and order the book and write a review in at a certain time, and you can become it's a bit of a parlor trick. You can become an Amazon bestseller with the sales of less than 10. So you're an Amazon bestseller, and it's possible you never sell any more than 10, but you got the little badge. You can take the screenshot. Really not that important in the overall scheme of selling your book and using it to promote your business or however you want the book, whatever the book you want to do for you. But it's a fun thing to do. The other thing is we I prefer to actually make the sales myself. So almost always we'll have a landing page, and we'll have the print book, and also the digital experience edition, which we'll talk about tomorrow, available to for payment, about the same as what you get it from Amazon. The main difference is I get the money right away, or a client gets the money right away, and then um, what I do is if I'm selling the print books, I'll use the author copy ability to get order a print book and have it sent to the person who's bought it. So that works pretty well. And Amazon does a great job of tracking, pretty good on the delivery, and it's really favorable. You're going to get often, depending on the size of the book, you're going to be able to print it and ship it through Amazon for less than $10. So if you're selling the book for $20, you're got $10 ahead. And I'm just going to say that um, you're not going to make that $10 through Amazon, and you'll probably take a couple of months to get paid for it. So I'd rather have the money now. Excuse me. There we go. I just inhaled something, probably. Anyway, so that's it for today. Again, I'm going to reiterate: this is something anybody can really do. You'll either through Atticus, which is a paid program, or the tools that you already have, Microsoft Word, um, Apple Pages. You could do the stuff in Adobe Illustrator, Adobe InDesign, if you're so inclined. Um, so it's not really that impossible to do yourself. And the book cover can be done. And I'm going to say Amazon has a book cover designer. So when you upload it, you can get a design built, pretty good design built right in Amazon, Kindle Direct Publishing. So so that part is all doable. So all these things are something you can do yourself to self-publish. Uh, Again, we offer it as part of our overall publishing sales machine program. And also, I'm available if you've got your manuscript done, you got it ready to go, and all you want to do is have me format it and help you submit it to Amazon Direct Publishing and Ingram Spark, that we can do that. And I'm going to just make one more comment about that. You can go through many publishing consultants, publishing areas, and they will kind of publish the thing for you. That is not what I suggest. It says either you go to a mainstream publisher and go get a publishing deal, or if you're going to self-publish, do the actual uploading to your own Amazon Direct Publishing account or your own Ingram Spark account. And that way you can go and you can see exactly how many people have ordered. The money comes to you. You get whatever it is. You may have a runaway bestseller, but very few people do. Mostly the book is something they get satisfaction from creating the book, or if it's a business, it's a calling card. Allows you to say, well, I published the book, and that can get you speaking engagements and get you known as an expert. It can get you business work, get you out there. So there are lots of reasons to publish a book, and whatever it is for you, can make it work. Again, it's just, yeah, you don't rule out becoming a runaway bestseller and making lots of money, but it's just not for everyone. And I'd have to say, with the promotion and sales, the people who do get there are fairly relentless with marketing their book everywhere on social media, wherever they appear, paid advertising, landing pages, reviews, all that kind of thing, press releases, all of that can help get attention to your book and sell your book. Anyway, we can help you with all of that. If you want us to work with you, we again, I can help you just with all the nitty gritty technical things. We get the book formatted, ready to go. And then we can also help you with everything from concept to marketing. So if you just have some ideas, talk to us. We'll help you put together a plan, do all the steps, and get you up and running. Anyway, that's all I have to say for today. And thank you very much for joining.